Good evening. Welcome to Military Strategies. We are live right now, February 17, 2026. Oh my, the F-22s are arriving right now at the theater of operations. How are the skies burning? And what about the threats from the Ayatollah saying he's going to sink the aircraft carrier of the United States of America? Also, tonight, exclusive coverage of Israel's preparations. And something very important, the plane that's waiting for the B-2S has just arrived. Family, your likes, your comments, let's get started, let's go. Family, very good evening. Welcome to Military Strategies. We are live right now. Well, what's coming? This is what's coming. I said it a week ago. They're moving the F-22s. Raptors confirmed today. The Raptors have already arrived at the theater of operations. They've already arrived at ground zero. Video of the F-22s landing, no less, in the United Kingdom. Wow, this is intense, huh? Really intense. Things are getting wild. Welcome to Military Strategies. We're live right now, your channel, your community, your family. Thank you so much for being with us, for joining us one more day, for being part of this project. Are the super chats open? Thank you for the memberships. There's not a minute to lose with all the information we have today.
Reunión de negociación nuclear.
I'll tell you what happened here. Former CIA agent sponsored by Iran. So now, what are we going to talk about? That's what Yoav Gallant, former defense minister of Israel, said. The Ayatollah Khani from the Revolutionary Guard also spoke. The spy has spoken as well. New demonstrations in Iran. And whatever comes up, family, whatever comes up, because this is going to be absolute madness. Sit down, make yourselves comfortable, have some water, some food. The night show is starting off well. Today was a day when a lot of things happened. We're going to get started in just a moment so you can see, in fact, right now. While we're talking, you don't want to miss this. While we're talking, before it goes away, before we lose it. This plane that's landing in Lajes, this one you see here, this tanker, is a tanker with a very special mission. It just made a couple of loops to release fuel because it was carrying too much fuel. It probably came accompanied by fighter jets, but that tanker plane has a very important purpose in this story. This plane you're seeing, the KC-46, a Pegasus only 7 years old, is one of the newest. The fleet, in addition, it might have the privilege or the honor of refueling the most important planes of what's to come in the next few hours in Iran. Lajes, the Azores. But for now, we're talking. Another airborne radar, another airborne warning and control system right now in the area of operation, another one. If anyone has any doubts, we've already got 3 more. The 2 that were there or the 4 that were deployed, 4 plus 3. How much is that? Important number? Each of the AWACS will be responsible for more than 40 planes. Thank you. Also the communications node, the Wi-Fi, the air. A second one was sent. We had the first 2 weeks ago, and now the second. That's our progress. But let's not focus on the map right now. I know that this doesn't appeal to a lot of people. It doesn't fascinate them. It doesn't sit well with them. A day of negotiations, a day when Iran has closed the Strait of Hormuz. Part of it as a kind of threat or a test of what's to come, of what's about to happen. Arashi has spoken. He said they will not continue negotiating if there are pressures or threats against Iran. That's what he said. But the reality is they sat at the table and made a proposal to the United States that's actually kind of funny. It's like a kind of mockery of Donald Trump, and that's where Donald Trump said, that's it. We even told him, yes, we'll sit down as soon as the aircraft carrier arrives. Blow them up until not even a single remnant of the regime is left alive. That's right, that's right. The negotiations in Geneva are a complete failure. Iran has proposed the following: to stop enriching uranium for 3 years, and then after 3 years, negotiate. That is, when Donald Trump leaves. This is good. They want to wait for the orange man to leave to see if they have better luck with the next one and keep buying time. On the missile issue, they have said it's non-negotiable, and the Ayatollah himself has said it, the range of our missiles is non-negotiable. We're not going to negotiate anything there, fine. That's okay, don't negotiate, because in the end, you'll end up negotiating, but in a different way, by signing the death certificate. Donald Trump, who the other day said, what for me is ideal, for me is fantastic. Wow, how excited they get. You'll see how much they're laughing in a couple of weeks. How much will the ladies in black veils cry? Will they run out of cloth to dry their tears? Yes, 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 yes. Listen, listen. They're really full of themselves, huh? They're really full of themselves, but is their drunkenness going to wear off quickly right now at this moment? Then we also have to look at another topic that has happened, obviously, in Israel. I want to show you an action video, as always. You know I like to bring interesting videos. This was the arrival of what we saw last night in the skies. Remember last night when we urgently went live, saying airborne warning and control system were heading to the Middle East? These are arriving at the United Kingdom Airbase to then continue their journey to the next point, to the next stop. First stop, the United Kingdom. Second stop, the Middle East operations area, Greece, Cyprus, Israel. Who knows where next? For seconds and minutes, people were thinking that the attack could have happened last night. That's how things were, watching the movements in the sky. The most important thing about this story, what can fascinate us all the most, above everything else, is what you're about to see. Now, pay attention to your screens and watch what's about to appear over there. It's a refueling plane that's opening its hose, and here it comes. The most feared plane. For any fighter pilot on this planet, it's the stealthiest plane. Its radar signature could be that of any bird flying in the sky. It's a plane designed with the most advanced technology in the history of aeronautics. It's the plane that makes any country on this planet tremble just by hearing it's in the skies, the F-22. That's how it is in military strategies. During the Super Bowl, we announced that the F-22 was being silently deployed at that moment in the Middle East. Today, it's no longer silent. Today, it's a reality. The F-22 comes into play. The last time it did. Midnight Hammer. In Operation Midnight Hammer, the United States deployed F-35s and F-22s to escort the Bat-A aircraft. But it's not the only one. The United States has brought out something much bigger from its arsenal. The Big Bird, L. During the Cold War, There was a plane that drove the countries on the other side of the wall crazy. Communism looked up at the skies and saw a plane flying over without being able to do anything about it. Until they invented anti-aircraft defense systems capable of shooting them down, able to reach an altitude closer to space than to Earth. The United States has taken out of its arsenal Lady Bird, the U-2, the most legendary spy plane that can fly over the skies of Iran, conducting photographic image reconnaissance that cannot be shot down. Another one joins the theater of operations of what's happening right now. At this moment, welcome family, we are live. Military strategies. The real madness. There he is, giving the creature something to drink. Oh my goodness. And look how much that creature consumes. Look how much that creature consumes. Witkoff Kushner heading out to the meeting. Here we are. Witkoff Kushner heading out to meet with Arachi. What could they have told him? What might they have said? Did they meet each other's eyes? Arachi probably bowed his head, and Witkoff probably told him what Donald Trump told him. Is the nuclear program over? Are the missiles finished? Is attacking your people and sponsoring terrorism over? Arachi probably bowed his head and said, none of what you asked me for. It's in my hands. Do what you have to do. Look, today. What happened in Iran precisely today, not yesterday or any other day today. Precisely. In Iran, there have been new protests that have resulted in what you are about to see now. Shots have been fired at people. They have been opening fire on people. It seems that this is not going to change. This isn't in any way, and it doesn't look like it's going to get better. On the contrary, it's going to get worse. The Ayatollah has said that he is very sorry for those who have died, but he does not feel sorry for the leaders of the uprising revolution. But too many people are involved. Too many people have died. Politmarket. Did anyone bet that Iran wouldn't be attacked? They're going to lose a lot of money, a lot of money. War, even in betting, people do business with wars. It's just mind-blowing. Look at what happened today in Abadan, which is also the city where the nuclear detonator was tested back in the day. We heard Abadan. People have begun shouting, "Death to Khamenei." And they've started opening fire, started shooting at people. Again, once more, shooting at their own people, massacring their own people. What do you think they'll do to the rest of the world as soon as they get the slightest chance? That's exactly what they'll do. I was also telling you that for every tanker we saw in the skies, there were approximately 6 people, 6 fighter jets. For every tanker, 6 fighter jets. The photograph that confirms my revelation is this one. Attention. With this. Let's zoom in and start to enlarge it. It reminds me of the image of Mama Petito with her ducklings, a Stratotrunker, 3 planes on the left wing, 3 planes on the right wing, giving them something to drink on their journey. To hell. Images of Israel Kaifa. Israel also knows how to do it, knows how to refuel its F-16s. In collaboration with the United States of America. They have been practicing this for months, for years, to work as a single air force under a single air command and control. Obviously, Israel's planes are from Israel. The United States planes are from the United States, but on this mission, they are the same. They go hand in hand. What has been taken to the United States of America in the last few hours? To Europe? Get ready because the numbers are staggering. Attention. 16 F-16 fighter jets to the Aviano Airbase in Italy. We saw her a few days ago and she said planes will take off from there. We already have them. Spandolin Airbase, 12 F-16s there. Also another 12 at the National Guard Air Base in Magentyre, ready to take off. We continue from Langley Air Base, 12 F-22s. These are significant numbers. They're adding up. Last night, 48 fighter jets were moved in a single move on the chessboard. 48. That's a lot. A lot of planes added to those that came from the previous day, plus those from the previous weeks. We're already gathering more than 200 fighter jets in the theater of operations. More than 200 fighter jets. Does anyone have any doubts? Please, in the chat, your comments, family, we have the super chat open for comments as well. Please, your likes are super important. We need to give this visibility for what's coming, for what's about to happen. The Ayatollah has said, we are not going to accept the demands to limit our ballistic missiles. He has also said that the deployment of an aircraft carrier is a very important show of force, and it is powerful, but the weapon that can sink the aircraft carrier is even more powerful. Oh my God. Iran has gotten cocky today. Musavi has gone to Bandar Abbas and has begun wandering there. On some ships, they issued a kind of notice on maritime, warning that some areas of the Strait of Hormuz were being closed, that military maneuvers were being carried out to test the closure of the Strait of Hormuz. And the best thing they've said, the funniest part, is that they can close it whenever they want. There we see them positioning their trucks with missiles ready to attack civilian ships. Because to the ships of the United States Navy, they are not going to touch them. Does anything stand out in this story? I want to explain since people are talking. I know it's very striking that they can launch anti-ship missiles from a boat and hit a ship. I think that's fine, that's great, but I want to explain something so people understand how modern warfare really works. We'll do a simulation one of these days if we have time, since I don't think we'll have time anymore. This is going to be real life now, and it's going to be see, come, and conquer. Look, there's something that's striking. First of all, to launch those anti-ship missiles, they need an active radar. That's the first point in this whole story. You need an active radar. If there's no radar, there's no party. Without radar, there's no missile. All right, so what happens then? Well, it's very simple. It's that image, right? There's a man who sails every day, 24 hours a day. The Persian Gulf, which is called Overlord. This one we see here is an intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance drone from the United States of America to identify targets. It has just taken off right now. Precisely when we started the live broadcast, Overlord stood up and said, "Good evening, strategies." Here we are. Overlord has been scanning the entire coast of Iran for weeks, millimeter by millimeter. The camera it has on the side, because it has a side camera, can photograph and recognize targets inside Iran, far from where the device is. Let's say it's like an eagle's eye multiplied by 10. All right, back to the video. They need to place these funny little trucks in the area in order to launch their missiles. Does Overlord know where all of them are, or most of them? Therefore, before the attack begins, they will launch a massive one-way drone attack, meaning attack drones that are only meant to go one way. And are they going to destroy most of the drones and launch zones that these people have prepared to attack the Strait of Hormuz? So, I'm not that worried about the publicity they're getting, about threatening to scare the world by claiming they'll shut something down. Also, a P-8 Poseidon just took off along with Overlord. Overlord and Poseidon together identifying targets. And what does the P-8 Poseidon identify? Boats, these fast boats, these ships that launch missiles. I find it funny because they try to blur the trucks, but we know what kind of trucks these are. The United States knows what truck it is. With image-based artificial intelligence, it already detects where the truck is. There's no escape from this, so the fact that they want to close it means they will obviously launch drones. But then there's another detail. From the moment that missile is launched, the radar already... The ship is already detecting it. When? Any missile launched toward the Persian Gulf, any United States Navy destroyer, America is already aware of it. Before the missile gets that close, much earlier, kilometers before that, the destroyer is already launching missiles from its built-in defense system to intercept it. Even if it ran out of missiles, would it still have options to defend itself against that kind of attack? Added to the electronic warfare system that will confuse the radars, it won't give them a chance to lock onto a destroyer or the aircraft carrier of the United States Navy. Forget it. It's a story. It's a fantasy. It's almost practically impossible for one of those missiles to penetrate the anti-air defense circle that the United States has in a naval deployment. Speaking of anti-air defense, we have good news, very good news. We have good news because Israel has leaked. And the system at 4 would already be operational to be deployed. These are the layers of Israel's air defense system. The Arrow 3 with the SM-3, the Aegis system, the TAT system, the Arrow 2 system, David's sling with the Patriots, and finally, the Iron Dome. Well, it seems, according to what's been leaked, Israel has already deployed the latest of the latest. To defend itself from the threat. Good news, very good news, but of course every piece of news has its downside. Former CIA agent. He speaks and says that a few days ago he spoke with a Navy captain. And he said that if they could defend themselves against Iran's hypersonic missiles, that if they could defend a ship carrying 25,000 sailors on board, it's a lie. An aircraft carrier doesn't carry 25,000 sailors on board. But anyway, this former CIA member, so former member, was he kicked out of the CIA? Is it personal for him with them? Did they pay him to say the nonsense he said? Based on what this man, who's popular on social media, has said, Iran has hypersonic missiles, which are unstoppable for the United States defense systems. No one has explained to this man that any missile that exceeds Mach 5 speed is already considered hypersonic. And this is one of those things people hear out there. They see it in the newspapers, they see it in publications, and they don't really understand Mach 5. That's 5,000 kilometers per hour. Can one of Iran's smallest missiles reach that speed? Of the ballistic, quasi-ballistic ones, the ones we care about are those that go over 10 and beyond. Those are the dangerous ones, the ones that can change or vary their trajectory to evade anti-air defense systems. Or they even carry countermeasures to confuse radars. Those are the ones you really have to fear. But of course, this man forgets that to sink the aircraft carrier, they need an active radar. They need a drone that's sending real-time information to the missile launch area to tell them where the aircraft carrier is. And something else that's very important is that the aircraft carrier stays still and doesn't move. Something unthinkable during a military operation by the United States. The F-22s are impressive. They are truly impressive. These planes, when they get there, are going to cause total havoc. What are they going to be used for? The F-22 is not a ground attack aircraft. It's not. It's not. The mission of the Invisible Bird is different. Another key point in this story. You see, the F-22 is a plane. It's watching everyone. It's the first one to arrive at the party. It's the plane that can enter an area with a lot of anti-aircraft defenses, where there are radars and electronic warfare systems. Is it immune? Nothing affects it. Is it afraid of anything? Inside its cargo bay, which is small, it carries anti-radar missiles, anti-aircraft missiles, missiles that can be launched beyond the horizon, and that can destroy the target without being seen. The F-22 is the key. Imagine a lock on a very large door. The door is called Iran, an immense, gigantic country. But these planes and waves can overcome and destroy it. The F-22 is even more stealthy than an F-35. Does it have an even lower radar signature than the F-35? Israel's already caused serious problems for Iran's air defense. Imagine a plane that's much harder to see, much more lethal, and designed to destroy air defenses. There's no escape, there's no way to survive what's coming. The F-22, along with the F-16 and the F-35, the A-10, the generations, the evolution of the United States Air Force united for the first time in a single theater of operations, the airplane war. It will be the first time in history that all flight platforms will come together against a single target, Iran. Oh my goodness. What's about to happen? But there's something important. You should never underestimate the enemy. If we did that, would this be a propaganda channel for the United States of America? Wouldn't it be a realistic channel? Look right now. How is the ammunition train from Europe to the Middle East? It's absolutely crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But we shouldn't underestimate them. Iran still has the ability to cause harm. There are many areas that the umbrella of the anti-aircraft system doesn't cover, doesn't protect. There are blind spots. There will be casualties. There it is. The aerial internet, the Wi-Fi, the communications node for air and ground operations, this already tells us. This plane, built 4 years ago, is the one that comes to replace many planes of the United States Air Force. This is the future. Already arriving to the United Kingdom. It can stay in the air much longer than many communications planes. Communications? Much longer. More than the P-6. Well, this also tells us something. Not all operations will be aerial. We will also have a part on the ground. I had been announcing it for some time. I had also been commenting on it and saying there will be a part that won't be aerial. It will be on the ground. We have to make sure to guarantee the destruction of the regime's critical points. By the way, the plane that's taking Kushner and Wickoff from Geneva, which just took off, is Par 78. Let's see where they're headed. They were going to the United Kingdom, to the milder Hall base, to meet there with the troops in the Air Command Center that's established there. Let's see what's happening there. Are they going straight to the United States of America right now? Currently, what the United States has done at this moment, that means there will be a 2-week pause now. 2 weeks of pause, nothing more and nothing less. For I don't know what, to renegotiate. Forget it. The attack is sealed, it's written at 90%. That Iran is going to be attacked and Iran knows it. They're not stupid. They know they can't do what the United States asked and that it won't benefit them. Israel, thank you so much, Christina. We stand with all the people of Israel. I managed to become a member. It was about time. David, it took you a while, but now you're here with us. Luzmar, May the Eternal protect us. Thank you so much for that donation. Sa-13, Iban. Watch out for this guy. The former CIA agent John Kiriakou, who has a radio show on Sputnik funded by Putin and is at odds with the CIA because he's on the white list. I've already said it. Many people are spreading misinformation, like the video falsely claiming the Ford aircraft carrier passed through the Strait of Gibraltar. That's not true. That video isn't correct. It's an old video. You can't trust Isaac S. Strategius for excellent information. They're biased. Literal crap, but I insist on this. You shouldn't underestimate it. You can protect the skies, you can protect many things, but what you can't protect are assets in allied countries. I insist again, the level of terrorist alert must be raised in Spain, in Europe, and all over the planet. The regime's reaction will be to activate all its secret units. Scattered across half the world, they will try to launch attacks inside Allied territories. Please, governments, listen to us for once before it's too late. Please pay attention to what's arriving at Leges. Another KC-46 Pegasus. This island is going to be key when the attack begins. The B-2S will pass through here again. It's the shortest route. They'll pass through there again. Then they'll be refueled in Moron. And now we'll see in Moron and in Rota what has happened at that base in the last few hours. We're going to look at all of that now here in Military Strategies. Welcome. If you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe. It's super important that you're following this channel because what's coming is not going to be small. Precisely. There's a guy who today started threatening the United States of America. This is super funny. These guys don't stop threatening the United States of America and threatening Donald Trump. They seem fixated or something? Do they actually want to get blown up? Well, looking at the bodyguards he has, not really. It's not like the guy can do much more, I mean. Just by looking at their faces. Well, let's see what this sinister creature from the axis of evil has said about the United States of America. It's not that I find them funny or that they make me laugh anymore. I see they're just too evil and too certain about it.
We hear the voice of Santiago de Inglaterra's new lawyer.
Even if the United States of America sent 12 aircraft carriers near us, he is General Mohammad Reza Nagdi, advisor to the Commander-in-Chief of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard. They wouldn't be able to, even if they send 12 aircraft carriers, they wouldn't be able to do anything. America will definitely be defeated and is incapable of any aggression against us. Oh my God, the bodyguards.
Es que estoy mirando los guardaespaldas. Por lo tanto,
We have to focus on our domestic affairs.
perseguir a la gente y masacrarla. Tenemos que completar el despliegue de nuestra Guardia Nacional en cada estado. ¿Cómo nuestros oficiales pueden frustrar el plan americano? Le preguntan. América ya.
It has been sunk in frustration and global humiliation. Where did they get it from?
Yo creo que protege con su mirada.
The President of the United States of America is currently involved in a corruption case because of the Epstein list. America's relationships with its close allies like Canada and Europe are also deteriorating. To the point that they are about to go to war. The United States is finished. Let me get the frame. I just love this one. This one, we have to make a meme. The United States is finished.
Qué bueno. Es buenísimo, ¿eh? Es buenísima la frase.
What else do we have? Look, another tanker is arriving with more fighter jets. It's nonstop. It's nonstop. Look, 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 look here. Look, this is incredible. This is incredible. Thank you. "62 years old. Do you have planes?" Look. The plane with wick of Avalon 31. Forgive me, that's not what we were saying. The one we were talking about is the support plane. It's Avalon 31 that's carrying wick of Yah. Kushner. The C-40 Clipper. Yesterday we saw it and said someone important is on board. It's crazy. Let's do the playback from last night. It happened since last night. Family. Last night we saw how Wickov and Kushner crossed the pond to meet with evil. You remember, right? We saw this last night. With them were the F-22s escorting Wickov. Let's speed this up a bit. Last night we were live around that time, around 1:30 or 2 in the morning. We saw how the E-3S were joining up with the night convoy. With the F-16s, the F-22s, all of them starting to cross the Atlantic in a kind of symphonic orchestra. Look at the huge fleet that was crossing the skies of this planet last night. Another one was heading to Lajes, was also joining in. And meanwhile, another convoy, this one heading to air bases in Europe and the Middle East. It's tremendous. 6 in the morning. It was dawning in Europe. And planes kept arriving in Greece, more planes to Suda Bay, Tanya, Crete. Here we see them.
Uno.
Well, careful, we've missed something. Let's stop the music for a moment. There's a detail here. It was just a second. Look right here. There are 2 Stratos tanks arriving at the Rota Airbase, and 2 Stratos tanks to Rota. All right, let's continue. The E-3S that were already arriving in the United Kingdom, the Airborne Warning and Control System. And were the Strato tankers still around? Over here, another one camouflaged among the C-17S, some flights to Northern Europe. The radioactivity sniffer flying over Norway. Something routine.
Cuidado porque también había movimiento.
ION, which takes place in Africa, between the United States and other countries, kept coming in. There's a C-17 that I think is going to Lajes. This is important because it can carry logistics for fighter jets. Right now, the Azores are at this military base we're seeing in Lajes. And the Midnight Hammer passed through there, carrying the demolition package for Fordo. Planes kept arriving and taking off from this Crete. Look, here. We speed it up. It's already 9 in the morning. The tanker planes took off, some from Crete heading north, and others arrived bringing more fighter jets, more tankers. They took off from the United Kingdom, or arrived in the United Kingdom, right? These ones arrived, they came from Germany to pick up planes and bring them down. And another convoy at 10:30 in the morning, and it started to cross the Atlantic. We jump, 12 in the afternoon, what do we have? Planes that were in Crete, they start moving towards the Middle East. This tanker that's coming from here, and this other one that's probably also coming from there. He had taken planes as far as the Eastern Mediterranean, up to the diagonal with Cyprus, to let them go on their own with their own fuel tanks. Most likely to Jordan. That movement could have been F-35 planes crossing into Jordan. To the airbase located in this area here, the one we've talked about many times, the Mawad Salti Airbase. This airbase is where most of the fighter jets are being received. If you notice, the movement is classic. We use Crete as a connecting point for in-flight refueling. We take the planes to the Eastern Mediterranean, and we do the diagonal for the last in-flight refueling. And we let them reach on their own with their fuel tanks in a taxi transport operation. At that moment, the planes are probably only carrying a couple of air-to-air missiles to defend themselves in case of a threat. But normally, what they usually carry under the wings are extra fuel tanks, tanks for making that transport, to go much farther than their range allows, in stealth mode. When one of these planes has an external fuel tank added, its radar signature and avionics change completely, and the plane loses that characteristic feature. Being able to hide from radars, carrying 2 huge canisters, 2 tanks, 2 fuel tanks under the wings is already a problem. It's a problem because they can no longer hide from radar so easily. We keep seeing clearly there have been more movements throughout the day because, of course, this already gives us, or we start to understand the role that Crete is playing in this story. Let's take a look. Let's keep going, family. Look, 2 tankers are leaving Moron heading west. Pay attention to these 2 planes. These planes have gone to pick someone up. They've dropped off the radar, but they're picking someone up. Meanwhile, they kept crossing through this area here. Roma 02 with the F-22s. They also turned off the radar so we wouldn't see them. Let's go. Another convoy. Heading to Lajes, again towards the Azores, 3 Stratotankers were going. Another one heading north. I mean, the movement of planes we're seeing is frantic. It's something, I mean it, it's something frantic. It's absolutely crazy. Look how, here the code CLIM 22, clean 22, it's starting to arrive. And these have probably landed in Lajes or in Spain. A large part of the units is being concentrated. This was at 4 in the afternoon in the Azores. That interests me, it interests me, because the B-2S could pass through there. The B-2S can pass through there. I don't know if I said before that the plane, the U-2, I think I said the U-2, right? The spy plane is called the U-2. It's not the B-2. Nobody get confused. Let's see if they go directly. They haven't gone to Lages. They haven't gone to Lages. They've gone towards Spain. This is interesting. Let's see. They've gone to Moron. All right, we know where they are. These ones went to Lages. Let's check them out. See, one is taking off from Lages. Well, yes, one is taking off from Lages or crossing towards Lages. This one we see here turns around and is going to land. So now we know that at least one has gone there. We need to see where these two here are going. Clim 32. They cut the signal there so you can't see what they're doing. In numbers, I insist on this, in numbers, what we're seeing right now is more. In the deployment, more than 200 fighter jets. It's frantic. We hardly see as many C-17 planes anymore. Now what we're seeing is the movement of fighter jets. And it makes sense. What we're seeing there has an overwhelming logic. First, the United States handles the logistics. That logistics is deployed, engineers are prepared, logistics, weapon systems and defense, and all the supplies needed for an operation of this kind. When everything is ready, the runways are reinforced, all the systems are prepared, and there is enough personnel. What is done at that moment is to bring in the planes, which means we are already in the final phase of this whole story. I know the question everyone has is about strategies. What is happening right now? What is going on? What is the situation at this moment? When is it going to happen? We are already moving the final planes. We are moving the final planes, which means it is very likely that this is going to start very, very soon. It also came into play a little while ago. That E3, another airborne radar, came into play again. In this whole story, family, welcome to Military Strategies. We're live right now. We're going to keep watching videos. We're going to keep looking at things because we have a ton of information. Pay attention to it. Astanek. Connie is the only one who survived the attack. For a long time, we've thought that Canny could be the spy, Agent Canny. Do you remember that fable he made up, the one that was rumored about? Well, Connie has said that the United States must pay for its crimes. No more and no less than the United States of America must pay for its crimes. What did Yoav Gallant, former defense minister of Israel, say? You already know there has been a lot of criticism about his role during the war. There's been a lot of talk, a lot of comments. What did he say? Incredible. The one who didn't want to attack Hezbollah now says, attacking Iran is not a political solution. It's not a political decision, it's an operational decision. Attacking Iran is an existential necessity for Israel. That's what he's saying. And 3 hours ago, it was confirmed that the Gerald Ford has left the Caribbean Sea and is operating in the Atlantic, which means that the Gerald Ford is about to enter the Mediterranean. Well, look. Pay attention to this that just slipped in. Let's go back a second. Here, you can't miss a single detail for even a second. Look here at what's going to happen. There's an AWACS, right? There's an E3. We can see it there. You see, we see, and here's another one. It's the same one, right? Okay, pay attention to what's going to happen now. There was a moment when there were two. It was just a second. There it is. There it is. There it is. It was just a second. I only saw it out of the corner of my eye while we're streaming live. Family, well, 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 well. 2 more airborne warning and control system, 2 from yesterday, plus 1 in the morning, which was probably with another one as well. 5 airborne warning and control system, 5. Oh my God, 5. Oh my God, this is crazy, huh? This is absolutely crazy. Family, where are you connecting from tonight? In military strategies, I want to see where you are. Let's go with comments. Let's go with super chats. You can also support our channel through our PayPal account. If you have PayPal, you can also help us continue with this content, and there you see the PayPal link, /me. Military Strategies, our official account. Also, I want to tell you there's a Telegram group called Military Strategies, which is not our official one. They copied our logo, they copied our image, but it's not our official group. In that group, they're asking you to invest in cryptocurrencies and other types of investments. We don't deal with finance. This is a news channel. Please leave that group immediately. It has been reported. We don't want there to be any kind of problem. We will never ask you to use any link that we don't provide here live. Never. Not in the comments either. Also, don't click on any links that people post. There are a lot of wolves out there. I want to show you something important now, says Bam Bernie. Come on, community, hit those likes. We're missing likes. Pagan family, thank you so much. Iran is fortunate to see so many next-generation planes overhead. It's quite a spectacle. If the United States and Israel confront Iran together, friendly fire could occur. Remember, the United States recently fired at its own plane. Angel, Angel, Angel. That super chat is great, Angel. All right, let's talk about this. The United States shot down an F-18 in the Red Sea and almost shot down another one. The problem was that the crew of that destroyer wasn't consolidated to work with the aircraft carrier in question. That's why it's important for aircraft carriers before being deployed to undergo an operational course of 4 to 5 weeks so they can prepare themselves. That's what the United States ship George Bush is doing now. That aircraft carrier is currently being trained so it can work with its battle group. Even if there aren't those kinds of incidents, there's also something else important. Not all of the destroyers in the United States Navy are updated to the same level. Some of them don't have the same upgrade, the same identification software. And in a situation like the one that was happening in the Red Sea with drones flying everywhere, that incident occurred. That's why it's important, and maybe we won't see that right now. The escort group of the United States ship Gerald Ford, together with the Gerald Ford itself, have operated in the Caribbean Sea. They all know each other, they know each other's families' names, and they have dinner together every day. They know exactly how they have to work and how they have to operate. It's an aircraft carrier that has already gone through that adaptation process and has been deployed at the right time on the necessary date to attack Iran. Therefore, it's unlikely that we won't see them. That's why planes like the one we just saw are important. That communications node and the airborne warning and control system, inside that plane we saw with the dish, which is a radome. It's a radar that rotates, identifying and selecting friendly and enemy aircraft. And there's something that Israeli planes and American planes share. Encrypted communication systems like Link 16. Those systems, using satellites and communication aircraft, can identify who is a friend and who is an enemy. Therefore, the frequencies used are likely shared, and there won't be any connection problems between both air forces. But that's a very good question you just asked, a very, very good question. Thank you so much for that question, really, because it hadn't occurred to me to clarify it, and I think it's extremely important to do so. What is Israel doing? A member of Islamic Jihad was trying to enter Syria illegally from Lebanon. They just did Jelani a favor. How much time does the Ayatollah have left? The Ayatollah? When they told him the bug was coming his way, he didn't take it well and started threatening everyone. It seems that old Grumpy doesn't like it. Israel, meanwhile, has started destroying terrorist homes. Here we can see it. Everyone continues with their own war, and everyone is getting ready. Even Israel itself is preparing with vehicles. EITAM Nahal. The Nahal unit has already received its EITAM to give it projection inside Lebanon. Nope. Here, everyone is getting ready for a war, including us soon. Do military strategies have a surprise for you? But before that, we have to see something. I want you to look at these X-ray images. They are radiographs taken of victims of Iranian repression. I want you to pay attention to this. Pay very close attention. What you're seeing, those little dots that are shining, are pellets from the regime's shotguns. They've shot at the head. This is something tremendous. This must be reported as a war crime, as a crime against human rights. The international court must pursue these people until their last day of life, until their very last day. They must be pursued. I'm telling you the truth. This is the situation we're seeing right now. It may seem that what they're saying in Geneva, that the negotiations are going well, is some kind of, that there won't be an attack. But that's exactly what happened right before the midnight hammer. They were about to meet, and just before the meeting, the hammer would come down and strike all of Iran cheat. Well, that's how it's happening now. This one we're seeing now. The spokesperson for Iran's Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Baghi, says that Tehran is willing to extend indirect talks with the United States in Geneva. It may take days or weeks to reach an agreement, emphasizing that time is crucial. He stated Iran is negotiating seriously and expects the same from Washington. Since the United States negotiators have left. Since he doesn't want to stay in Geneva so they don't cut off his head in Iran, that could be the case.
Podría ser.
Gerald Ford. Is it still in the Atlantic? I repeat, the video that has been posted on some social networks has been posted in some places showing Gerald Ford crossing the Strait of Gibraltar. It's not true. You have to be, I always insist on this, very careful with what gets published. Surely it's not with bad intentions. Surely the intentions aren't bad. And it's not done to spread misinformation. It's simply out of a desire to provide information. You need to be certain before sharing something like that, since it's serious. And there are a lot of very nervous people in Israel who don't know what's going to happen. Tomorrow there's a private meeting in Israel. Precisely to talk about this story. The preparation of Israel's defense. Israel already knows very well what it has to do. They know the whole process of war very well. They know it perfectly well. That's the situation. Stay calm. We need to stay calm. There's a lot more anti-aircraft equipment. This time, there are many more options. Now, the United States is directly involved. Now is the time to listen to what the emergency authorities say and not to what is said on social media. Even here, I insist, you have to follow the official statements. What has the Ayatollah said? Because since information goes back and forth, let's translate what has been published on social media. I think this is important because saying that things have gone well or that things are going well is a mistake. Khamenei on social media in Spanish. I think we can read it. There's no need to put it up. We can put it up if you want. I don't mind. Today, Khamenei was in the province near Azerbaijan. They removed him from Tehran. They took Khamenei out of Tehran. Maybe it's because they're afraid. Maybe it's because they're afraid. It could be. What did Khamenei say?
Let's listen to him.
Khamenei publish. The President of the United States repeatedly says that his army is the most powerful in the world? Is it possible for the world's strongest army to suffer a blow so severe it can't recover? First beef from Grandpa Turreda. Second, the United States says that we have sent an aircraft carrier toward Iran. Certainly, an aircraft carrier is a dangerous device, but even more dangerous than an aircraft carrier is the weapon that can send it to the bottom of the sea. Now he is a poet. The president said the United States has failed to destroy the Islamic Republic in 47 years. That's a good confession on my part. I'm telling you, you won't be able to do it either. Oh my, how is Jamenei? Jamenei? Today he took the blue pill. Oh my, but well. This is real, huh? Look, I'm not joking about this. 1 second, okay? The Milia family. Let's put it up so people believe I'm not making this up. That this is real. Grandpa Turreda has lost it, huh? Jamenei has completely lost it. Let's see. Grandpa Turreda. There he is. This is really good, huh? Let's see. Out watermark. Wow.
Oh my, all the garlic already. Khamenei. Well, let's see.
He says the United States, he says we've sent an aircraft carrier toward Iran. Come on. But the most dangerous thing is that an aircraft carrier is that weapon that can send it to the bottom of the sea. You won't be able to do it either. You won't be able to finish with the Islamic Republic. Let's call this a sign of the empire's decline, huh? A sign of the United States empire's decline is its irrationality. They say, have missiles up to this range. Don't have more than that. Why do you care? If a country doesn't have deterrent weapons, it will be crushed under the feet of its enemies. Now, Jamenei thinks he's the art of war and is writing a book. This is fascinating, folks. We're watching. Jamenei is losing it. He's losing it. This is mind-blowing. Let's see. Are we sharing super chat, huh? Meanwhile, Fagin, thank you so much. We'll put your super chat here next to Jamenei so it goes down in history. Thanks for your great effort. Thanks to you all. This is your community. Here we are friends. We are family. This is the great community of strategies. Strategies that should be used to attack or abandon the regime. NOC, I can't imagine it. Iran is very big, but there must be key points. As we said yesterday, watch that show. It's very interesting. We already discussed this topic and which targets to attack first, right? Thank you so much for those 50 shekels. I know they mean a lot to you. Hello? I've been hearing for several weeks in the service that the aeronautics here have synchronized with artificial intelligence to work with the B-52s in compound. Is there any purpose behind that deployment? Greetings from Beersheba. Yes, they're going to work together. That's all I can say. Thank you. The nuclear industry for peaceful purposes is obviously not for war. Oh no, that's why they're building a nuclear weapon and have a nuclear detonator, because it's not for war. This is great, he says. The nuclear industry for peaceful purposes is obviously not for war, but for agriculture. Damn them, medicine and healthcare. What agriculture is there in Iran if they don't invest in building and purifying water? What medicine is there if there are no medicines in the hospitals? What healthcare is there if the streets are dirty? What about things that rely on energy? This is part of the nation's rights. Why do you Americans care? Shall we continue? The fact that nuclear energy is our inalienable right is stated in the Organization of American States statutes. That is, all countries have the right to possess nuclear enrichment facilities. This is part of the rights of the Iranian nation. Why is the United States interfering? He wrote this while the meeting was taking place. That is, the Ayatollah was listening to what was being negotiated through simultaneous translation, and he was writing on Twitter. The answer... This is crazy, Javier. Thank you so much for that super chat, my friend. A hug, a hug. The United States says, let's negotiate about your nuclear program, and the result of the negotiation should be that you don't have this energy. There is nothing to negotiate, but if a negotiation is to take place, predetermining its outcome is foolish. Goodbye. Again, repost it. Jaminet, repost it, huh? The United States says we have sent an aircraft carrier toward Iran. Certainly, an aircraft carrier is a dangerous device, but more dangerous than an aircraft carrier is the weapon that can send it to the bottom of the sea. Is it tough, Khamenei, 4 hours ago? Everything we had heard about the corruption of these individuals, on one hand, and the matter of that infamous and corrupt island, on the other. This is, in fact, a reflection of Western civilization, of the liberal democracy of the West. Is Khamenei referring to the list? Epstein. Thanks for watching. I have something to tell you. Look, I don't like getting into this because I know I might hurt some feelings. Just like Epstein's Island is disgusting. I haven't wanted to cover this yet. We'll do a show on it when the time is right. It's not a priority right now for military strategies, but it is for awareness. We will do it. I promise we'll do a show about Epstein. Just as it's horrendous? What Khamenei says here about comparing Western civilization and Western liberal democracy with us being nothing but corrupt and pedophiles, it's a mistake. But I would like to remind Ayatollah Khamenei, as well as people from his regime. They enslave women, force them to marry for hours, to prostitute them, and on top of that, many of them are underage. That is Shiism. They make marriage contracts for hours so that God won't punish them. Let some cleric come and refute me. We're still waiting for someone to come and refute it. Shiism is a religion, It's an Islamic concept much more complex than we can understand, much more dangerous than we can imagine. Much more. So be careful with this. Family, we're live. Where are you connecting from right now? 15,000 people here in Military Strategies. Thank you so much for being live with us, really. Thank you so much. It's truly amazing to be able to do a show like this with you all. Of course, here Khamenei is trying to deflect, to kind of say, no. We're not the bad guys. The bad guys are the Americans who have islands with girls and things like that. But could he be so petty? Don't they have any shame? This is unbelievable, what we're seeing right now, family. This is something that is completely beyond understanding right now and makes no sense at all. Thank you so much to everyone in Argentina, El Salvador, Panama, the United States, Mexico, Nicaragua, Venezuela. Thank you all so much. Really. By the way, today the United States has taken action in the Caribbean Sea and in the Pacific. They have once again sunk boats loaded with substances. Later, we'll do another show about this if necessary. And we'll also talk to the people in Israel, the people in Spain. Thank you so much, really. People in Cuba, Paraguay. I also see people from Peru. Thank you so much to the people from Peru, people from Puerto Rico, from Argentina, a lot of people from Argentina. I'm really looking forward to going to Argentina. We're looking forward to getting to know Milei's world. Let's see how things are going over there and take a trip around. Through South America, Uruguay as well. Soon we'll also be in Uruguay. Dominican Republic. I hadn't thought about it, but hey, maybe we'll go there too. We'll chase after something or someone over there. Shoemaker. Mallorca. Very nice. Mallorca. Good place. Good place. I don't know Mallorca. I haven't been to Mallorca, but it's a good place. I've seen pictures and, well, Brazil, from Brazil. Tudo bem, obrigado. Thank you very much, really, for being live with us, community, and being part of this. What can I say until now? I think the work we're doing is honest and humble. I have no intention. I want to say one thing with this. When we have to criticize Donald Trump, we have to criticize him. When we have to speak badly, we have to speak badly. When we have to speak well, we have to speak well. That's what it's about. This is not a channel. I'm serious. This is not a propaganda channel. I don't depend on any government. No government pays me. I can say whatever I want. It's that simple. Whatever I want. Gemini just said, oh, Gemini is here today, but what's wrong with him? What's wrong with this man, right? Gemini's latest update? But what's happening to him? Oh. Military strategies. Random. Says Khamenei. Today, by the grace of Allah, the Islamic Republic has become a tall, blessed, and abundantly fruitful tree. Khamenei. What is Khamenei trying to say? Shall we see? A tall tree, a blessed one. And fruitful. What is Khamenei saying? Let's see. No. Out. Music. No, let's see. What is Khamenei saying? We have to deflate him, huh?
Let's see. Let's see. I need help. Music. What do you read between the lines? Music.
What do you think Khamenei is saying at this moment? A tall and fruitful tree. 1 second.
Family, 1 second, okay? Let's see.
Tall tree. I can only think of one thing. We stop the music. We stop the music. I can only think of one thing.
A tall and fruitful tree.
A nuclear explosion. It's like a tree that has a trunk. It's tall and it's fruitful. Khamenei just said that he has a nuclear weapon. Khamenei just announced that he has a nuclear weapon. Oh my God. What is Grandpa saying? Crazy.
No.
This is serious. That kind of statement isn't a coincidence, huh? What Khamenei just said is no coincidence. I'll read it again. I just want to be sure. Today, by the grace of Allah, the Islamic Republic has become a tall, blessed, and abundantly fruitful tree. Tall like a nuclear explosion, blessed by God, fruitful because it can kill many enemies. I don't know. Family, opinions in the chat. Right now, Khamenei is being very arrogant, huh? He's very, very arrogant, Khamenei. This is an issue. This is an issue. This is a great song. Because now we have to see what Khamenei is referring to or what he's not referring to. I mean, now we have to find out. Grandpa Majoretta, what he's referring to. And it's terrible. I insist on this. It's very, very terrible. That kind of message. Make millions of people nervous. Khamenei is saying it. I'm not saying it to scare anyone. I don't think so. If they had it, we'd know. They would have attacked already. I don't think that's the situation right now. Well, but he said it, right? Didn't he? I don't know how many blue ones he's had today, but today he's on fire. Today, he's just unstoppable. Today, he's on another level. It's curious. It's curious that he says it this way. Today, by the grace of Allah, the Islamic Republic becomes a tree, large and fruitful. It's horrible, but these are comments that need to be taken into account. There's something I learned when I was in Israel. They told me not to underestimate. Never underestimate the enemy. You should never underestimate them. Underestimating the enemy is costly, and Israel paid a high price for this mistake. October 7th. You can't afford to make such costly mistakes. You just can't, right? But there it is. I don't know, the message from Grandpa Turareta. This guy is the same guy who has massacred more than 40,000 people in 3 days. In 3 days. People went into the streets claiming Israel had killed 60,000, 70,000, 80,000, even 100,000. Someone even said 1 million. That's it. They brought a Palestinian doctor and writer to a Spanish-language Israeli radio program to say that Israel had already killed 60,000 people. I was amazed by this, but well, I'm not surprised anymore by some people in Israel. Nothing surprising, but what really catches my attention in this whole story, because it really stands out to me, is that no one has gone out into the street to complain about it. It's as if the world doesn't care what Iran does or how many people Iran ends up affecting. It seems to me that there's an existential problem here. People think that Iran wants nuclear weapons only against Israel. Many people dislike Israel for no reason, so they say, as long as it's used against Israel. Is this okay? There are people who think like that, but what they don't know are two things. One, the radioactive fallout will reach Europe, and two, when they see it used against Israel, they'll use it against Greece, Italy, Spain, and all of Europe too. Because what they want is to conquer territory. They think they're the Persian Empire. The Ayatollah thinks he's immortal, that he's going to live for the rest of his life. Thank you. Nothing. There he is.
There he is. It's tremendous.
Look, we have footage, ladies. We have footage. Sergio Hidalgo just posted it. I recommend you follow him. Sergio Hidalgo Arrow. Well, you all know who Sergio Hidalgo is on YouTube, one of the best channels for about planes, about military planes. And you learn a ton of things. He's an aviation fanatic, plus I think he's an engineer. Thank you. And he just reposted the arrival of the planes at Lajes. We have breaking news. Breaking news right now. Well, Sergio Hidalgo just retweeted something very interesting. Let's see. Lages, the Azores. Breaking right now. A plane is arriving. What plane is it? It's an F-16. Is it an F-16? Another one? A taxi configuration with extra fuel out. Another one. Let's zoom in. Let's try to find out which version of the F-16 it is. Let's see. They have an air-to-air missile on the wings for defense. That's what I said. Normally, they usually have that configuration. Fuel tank, 2 extra fuel tanks, and anti-aircraft missiles on the wings, on the wingtips for security. Well, now we know that the F-16s are at Lajes. I remember them. Follow the account of Sergio Hidalgo Arrow on Twitter. You have to follow his account until next time. And this is getting worse and worse, worse and worse. F-16's here, F-16's there. Total madness, total madness. We're live right now, folks. Things keep coming in, things keep showing up right now. 15,000 people on Twitter. Sorry, on YouTube. And just as many on Twitter. We're live. Let's share this live stream right now on social media. And right now we're witnessing it. Without a doubt, we're witnessing this. We're part of the history of the largest airborne deployment. That has been seen since the Gulf War.
En este planeta.
Never before has this been seen in this way, with this quality image resolution and in real time. Never ever. The closest we had seen was on Spanish television or international networks. The bombings by the United States Air Force and the coalition over Baghdad, just anti-aircraft defenses firing in the middle of the night in the darkness. But we had never seen what we are seeing right now. Real-time intelligence? Oh my goodness. By the way, breaking news also from the Capitol, there was an incident today where a guy showed up with a shotgun. Does the United States really have that? That's why I say we need to raise the security alert level. A guy dressed. Let's see him around here. A guy dressed. Hold on, we're going to put up the photo. Sorry, the photo isn't showing up for me and I'm not sure why. Ah, okay, we know, thank you. Let's see, let's go. There's a guy there dressed in what seems to be tactical or military gear. He gets out of the car near the Capitol, starts running toward the Capitol with a shotgun in hand, and is stopped. Mother of God. Incidents start happening. Known by the security and law enforcement forces. He had a record, huh?
Did he have a record?
We now have J.D. Baines. Has J.D. Baines, the Viceroy of the United States of America, spoken about today's negotiations? Let's see what J.D. Baines has said. Let's get to it, folks. What has J.D. Baines said?
Are you making an announcement today? I think the president has many options. We have a powerful military and he's willing to use it. He also has a great diplomatic team and is willing to use that too. The president has been clear with the Iranians. I just spoke with Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner this morning about their negotiations. The United States has certain red lines. Our primary interest here is we don't want Iran to get a nuclear weapon. We don't want nuclear proliferation if Iran gets a nuclear weapon. That's what I said. Weapons after them. That would be a disaster for the American people because then you have these crazy regimes all over the world.
For now, that's what he's saying. Today I spoke with Witkoff and Kushner about the negotiations. One thing is clear. Iran cannot have nuclear weapons, because if Iran has nuclear weapons, there are other regimes, some are friends and others not so friendly, that will also get nuclear weapons. And this is going to be absolute madness, because everyone will have their own nuclear bomb, and this will turn into real chaos, he said. Also, in some ways, today's nuclear talks with Iran in Geneva went well, but the Iranians are still not willing to acknowledge it. And to work with certain red lines set by President Trump. And he added, the president prefers diplomacy, but what other options are on the table for Iran?
Not willing to cross certain red lines set by President Trump. And he added, the president prefers diplomacy, but options are on the table. Iran.
But it's like he has all the options on the table. JD, if you've arrived, if you're taking the entire Air Force, the Middle East, this is crazy.
Certain red lines have been established, he added. What options are there? The Iran table, nothing.
He says the negotiations aren't working and the Iranians still aren't clear about it. Well, that's it. It's fine. They're not clear about it. We'll have to make it clear to them, of course. We'll have to make it clear to them, of course. With a red marker. What's the red line? I don't know if they're going to send him. I know if it's to send. Ayatollah, who says he has a big and fruitful tree. Juris Dr. Baines. Do you have any big and fruitful tree? The F-16s arriving at A. There are 4 F-16s arriving at the Ajay. How wonderful, how wonderful. Amazing, huh? Wow. How do they break formation to the right? Man, what a show. Who are they? Now we have to find out where they're from, so I'll say it quickly. The 2 F-16s that are moving right now on the planet are from the 169th Wing of the South Carolina National Guard. They arrived in the morning. Thank you. And they're going to make a stopover in Rhoda. The people who are in Rhoda, photographers, enthusiasts, people who like to do plane spotting and all that. Please send us some photos of the 4 F-16s, or a video, please. This video was made by Andre Spotter-Lages. Thank you very much. Andre Spotter-Lages is the one who provided or is providing us with these images on Instagram. This is a job for everyone. Everyone is working together so that we can see what's happening. It's very hard to hide the movements. It's actually impossible to hide them. And, of course, the F-16s are from South Carolina. We have here an old photograph that matches the drawing of the wing. In the back, that is, of the tail rudder, that. Let's take a look at it over here. Carolina del Sur. Good place, Carolina del Sur. Monkeys escape from laboratories. And are there any to put in a psychiatric hospital? But South Carolina, there we see it. It looks like it has an andran on its wing. It seems so. Yes, it could be. Typical configuration, extra fuel tanks there. Beautiful, huh? Nice design. Carolina del Sur. All right, we continue. We're still live, folks. More information is coming in right now about military strategies. Special program tonight. The most powerful moves. Oh my God. Where are we going now? Where could we go now? Well, let's see. Let's see. We're talking a lot here, but of Israel. They will leave you. There is one thing that is clear. This is going to affect everyone, right? Everyone. Everyone is going to be involved. And there are guys like Pedro Sanchez who don't want to get involved, but he'll have to get involved. What is the position of the government of Spain regarding military actions by the United States of America against the regime of Iran? There is currently no official statement, and there should be one. Spain must take a position. It must take make an official statement about to what extent it stands with its allies. Let's see now if they side with Israel or not. Let's see if now Pedro Sanchez has to admit that this war is legitimate because Iran wants a nuclear weapon. He said a few days ago at the security conference that nuclear weapons are a mistake. Let's prevent there from being a tyrannical country that wants nuclear weapons. Let's prevent it. Pedro. There's no other way. I know there are business interests involved. Look, look, look. Oh my God, what do the skies look like right now? But what is this? This is absolute madness, madness.
Look, madness.
The airborne warning and control system are arriving. I no longer know what they're sending, but I think they might even send small planes. But, oh my, the United States is really going all out. Family, right now, live one of the biggest aerial movements in modern military history is happening. Right now. I'm honestly amazed. Each of these planes can carry 6 aircraft, 3 on each wing. But this, what kind of madness is this? Family? We're going to give away memberships. Let's write in the chat that we're giving away memberships. We're going to give away memberships right now. Another tanker arriving at the GSA. A lot of this, huh? This is much more than we could ever imagine. Careful, careful. Is he writing something, huh? Is he drawing something? Overlord is drawing something. Let's see what he's drawing. Attention, there might be a message in the skies for Iran. Oh, if he keeps doing this, he's going to make a Star of David, huh? Who's drawing the United States of America's drone right now over the United Arab Emirates? I don't know. Last time, it drew them an hourglass. The pilot must have some kind of artistic streak and likes to draw. I don't know. This is just, this is already... Who can explain this? Who can explain this? I don't know. I can explain. Just a second. Someone messaged me something privately. What? I'm replying to a really important person because they're telling me something and they say, I can't tell you, but they say, it's going to happen now. And right now, I just can't handle everything. It's just crazy. It's crazy. I don't know if I'll have time to do what I want to do. I don't know if I'll have time to do what I want to do. But we're going to run out of time, huh? We're going to run out of time. I hope we can do it. Let's see if we have time today. Someone was talking to me and telling me, you're not going to have enough time. You're not going to have enough time. And I said, yes, I will have enough time. I hope so. And I'm praying that we can. Well, photo of Lajes. Attention, a photo of Lajes has been leaked, huh? We have a new leak. We have a photo of Lajes. Oh my, there is no longer called Lajes. It's called F-16, the island of the F-16-6. Ah, that's really tough, huh? Guys, this is really tough. Look. Let's zoom in. Let's count everyone. Let's do it together. They're F-16 planes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 11, 10, 12, 12, F-16. At Lajes plus whatever is arriving right now, what is... With this one? With this tanker, there could be 6 more coming, you know? There could be 6 more coming. It's outrageous. Let me see, would I say something when all this is over? What if Donald Trump thinks it's too expensive to send them all back? Can they leave a few of them here in Spain? Well, look, a P-8 right now. A P-8 right now. That appears in the southern area of Oman. And this one is going to identify targets in the Gulf of Aden. Or is it providing protection to the submarine and the drone? What is it doing? It's not making a Star of David. Come on. I mean, I don't think they dare to make a Star of David. Overlooking, you know? I've already seen it all. I've already seen it all. I've already seen everything, huh? I've seen it all. God, what do you have in store for us? And what's going to come? I don't know, but it's intense. New music. Family, we are live in Military Strategies. If you don't know this channel, subscribe. The gates of hell are about to open. Not for the demons to come out, but for the light to enter. Hell has two paths, one for entering and one for leaving. This time the light is going to enter hell. And not exactly to make friends. It's amazing. The F-22 deployed, the F-16s, the F-35s, the greatest Air Force ever seen in history. The pilots are eager to get in there right now and finish everything. I can't believe it. Israel is facing the existential war between good and evil. This goes beyond just some fanatics. Netanyahu, Trump, the grandson of the Ayatollah, Arachi, Lieutenant Colonel Random, missile launchers, pilots, both women and men, as the Reds would say, pilots ready to defend their country. Peace. Oh my, things are about to get crazy. And we also have zombies. Does anyone want more roles in this story? We have one for you, Marco Rubio. For Levi. Oh my goodness. By the way, Israel has never given him 60 days to disarm. And if he doesn't disarm, Israel will go into Gaza to disarm them. All of that is going to happen. It's going to occur. And we're going to see it here on Military Strategies. Family, thank you so much for being live with us. History slipped away, right? We write it together. See you in the next show. Here on Military Strategy. Greetings.